Halofalaya tumalo lelei sa bula talo hani talo fokoi kim the modi halo kita one talk karaki na kumai halo nem bilong noa ia e modi kiola aloha malo le soifua maua malalange mama. Brian Sangal here, Brian Sangal, event specialist, with another episode of our job hunting series, sharing some of the knowledge and wisdom garnered from years as an employment coach to help those looking to get into work, especially with a focus on our young ones, our young people that are currently looking for work. Now, last week's episode, we talked about scoring an interview. Now what? And what we covered in last week's episode, confirming date, time, and address for the interview, finding out as much as you can about the organization, the company, finding out as much as you can about the role, knowing your CV inside and out, dressing for success, and if not having any work clothes or uniforms, seeing what avenues are available to help, such as work and income. And then familiarizing yourself with the address and location before the day of the interview. So if you are running late for whatever reason, there's no added extra stress or panic with regards to that. So that was last week's episode, and please feel free to check that out. Now, today, the day of the interview, you have secured an interview, and now what? Well, the night before the interview, firstly, family, rest. Make sure to get plenty of rest. Get to bed nice and early. I would recommend setting out your clothes the night before, okay? And making sure you arrive early. When you wake up, making sure that apart from dressing nice, that you're groomed well, brushing your teeth. I would say for the guys, nice, always shave nice, but looking your best and dressing to impress. Yeah? Okay then. Now, tonight we are going to be going over some of the most common interview questions and ways that you can answer these particular questions. And the five that I'm going to share, five or six, you'll hear a variation of these at a number of interviews. And myself, I've been asked these. I've worked at about 5 to 10 jobs over nearly 40 years of working. So each of these questions I've definitely heard at an interview. And so we're going to go through them one by one and give a format or a way, a process by which you can formulate your own answers to answer, as well as give an example. Okay, then. Now, the first question you'll hear a lot at interviews: tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. Now, how do you answer this? Well, think about where you are right now. So, using the example of either year 13, year 12, or a recent school leaver, 1 to 2 key skills or achievements, and linking those skills or achievements to the role that you have secured an interview for. And so, an example of an answer: hey, tell me about yourself, Bobby. Well, I'm a school leaver with weekend cafe experience. I'm friendly, fast at learning, and I enjoy helping customers. I'd like to bring that same energy here. So that is just an example of how you can answer that question. But again, look at 1 to 2 points which you can line up with the job description on this particular answer. And even if there's a hobby that you have that may line up with the job description, by all means, feel free to add that in. But you're looking at, well, maybe 15 to 20 answers. For each of these questions, you can practice beforehand. So once you've confirmed the time, the date, and the location of the interview, it might be about a week before or a few days even, start practicing these straight away so that when you are faced with these questions or a variation of these questions, it just rolls off the tongue. It flows naturally. Now, the second question: Why do you want to work here? Very, very important question. Why do you want to work here? You can look at in your answer the format is something you know about the business, and this is where your research with regards to the business and the role that you applied for and have now secured an interview for, why it matters to you. Think about why you applied for this job in the first place. What is it that drew you to applying for this job? What you liked about the organization, and also think about how you can contribute as a potential employee for this business or organization. So, an example of this answer or this question: why do you want to work here, Bobby? I know you've got a strong local reputation for great service. I value making people feel welcome and work hard to keep customers happy. Now, these answers that I'm sharing as an example, they're only examples. I recommend that you write answers in your own words, but using this framework, this answer framework format process to put your answer together. Okay. Be wary, because when people get nervous, what tends to happen is that they can ramble on. So if each of these answers, keep them concise and to the point, keep them to aim for about 15 seconds, and again, practice, practice, practice. So when these questions do come up, I promise you, inevitably, a few, if not all of these questions will come up. Again, you'll be able to answer confidently and naturally. Now, the next question, family number 3: what are your strengths? And this is where you can just go for gold. You can highlight yourself. You can pretty much sell you as an employee of an organization, even speaking, as if you're already there. Again, 1 to 2, why not 3 strengths that you have? Quick proof, maybe an example, and how it links to or helps in this role. So, example, uh, what are your strengths? Oh, teamwork and reliability. In my last job, I covered shifts when needed, and that means you can count on me during busy times. Or if you don't have any experience, maybe work experience, but through a school, you had experience at customer service, retail, hospitality, whatever, use that, as an answer. When I had work experience at a local cafe, I was in charge of customer service as well as cleaning and that, and I was commended, or my boss said that I did a great job. Something like that, okay? But again, maybe 1 to 3 strengths again that line up with the role and the organization. What is the vision of the organization? Maybe you can tie that in as well. Hey, nice. Question number 4: what's a weakness? Okay, there's this is the way that I'm sharing with regards to this question. A real but safe area for improvement, what you're doing to improve, and a positive result so far. So even though interview will ask, what's a weakness? What you can do is turn this into a strength, as the following example of an answer will highlight. I used to rush tasks. Now I double check my work, and it's helped me avoid mistakes. Okay, then I've been known to take on too much work, but now I. But now I'm able to manage my workload well, which uh, helps me to be effective in my role, or in my last role, or the role that you had with work experience. So that's question number 4. What's a weakness? Again, real but safe area for improvement, what you're doing to improve, and a positive result so far. And the last one, oh no, second to last one: tell me about a time you had handled a challenge, or tell me about a time you were under pressure and how you managed it, something to that effect. What you can use in regards to this is the star format or star answer. S, situation, what happened? T, the task, what needed to be done. A, the action that you took. And then R, what was a result of that action? And the result should always be positive. Okay? Star, situation, what happened? Task, what needed to be done? Action, what you did. And result, positive outcome. An example, an answer, example of an answer. Our delivery was late, so I called suppliers, reshuffled jobs, and we still got the customer's order done on time. Okay, so again, the star format to answer this question. Tell me about a time you handled a challenge, or tell me about a time you were under pressure and how you navigated that. Star, S, situation, T, task, A, action, R, result. And then the final question, which I would say is just as, if not the most important question, every interview, regardless of the role that you will go for, they will always ask, do you have any questions? Now, when this question is asked, I guarantee you 100%, do you have any questions? Always, always, always have questions in mind, because this is your opportunity. Now that you've been interviewed, it's time for you to turn the tables and interview the interviewer, the organization, to see, yeah, this job sounds awesome, but there are a few things that I'd like to know whether I'm the right fit for this. And 10 times out of 10, organizations really appreciate it. So what are some of the things that you can cover? Some good questions to ask. What training do you provide new staff? What training do you provide new staff? Another question, please tell me more about the team I'll be working with. Another good question. Uh, how does the team support each other during busy times? That's another good question that you can ask. And then there's the other question. You can go one of two ways. Some people say asking about remuneration, pay, yes. Others, no. Me, this is me, my opinion personally. Yes, get it out there. Don't be shy to ask. Feel free. Can I get an indication of what the pay will be, or please can you tell me more about the remuneration? To me, I don't see it as a biggie, and I would say many, if not all, interviewers would expect that question too. So up to you whether you ask that question or not. Okay, so do you have any questions? Again, some examples. What training do you offer new staff? Please tell me more about the team I'll be working with. How does the team support each other during busy times? And then up to you whether you want to ask, hey, please, what's the pay for this role? Can you tell me more about the remuneration? There may be other questions that you might want to ask that come up during the interview that you think, oh, okay, make a mental note. So it's not just those, you may have other questions. And to me, I say the more questions you ask, it actually shows the interviewer, potential employer, organization, man, this person is really vested and they're really keen to be part of this organization. So I say, yeah, if you ask more questions, hey, it actually, it will work in your favor. Okay, family. So those are the common questions that you will get during an interview. I know 100% you get at least 3 or 4 of these, if not all. Those questions again, tell me about yourself. Number 2, why do you want to work here? Number 3, what are your strengths? Number 4, what's a weakness? Number 5, tell me about a time you handled a challenge using the STAR method. S, situation, what happened. T, task, what needed to be done. A, action, what you did. And R, result, ensuring that it is a positive outcome. And then the final question, do you have any questions for us? Always, always, always have questions. When it comes to the end of the interview, it's just a polite thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And that can be one of the questions that you ask when you are asked, do you have any other questions? Can you, can you please advise when I'll be notified about whether I'm successful or not for the job, or asking how long before I find out, please, whether or not I got the role. And so, based on that, okay, it will let you know by the end of the week, uh, a week, or whatever time frame they give you. Make a note of that time frame so that at the end of that time frame, if you haven't already heard, get back in touch with the person that interviewed you. Hi, I'm just following up from my interview last week, just ringing to find out if there's any updates, please. And then they'll be able to let you know whether yes, you got the role, or could be okay, yes, you've made it to the second interview. And it's like, what? Now, if you're looking at more than one interview, it could be that in the second interview, it'll be a group interview where there'll be yourself and other candidates. But I'm not gonna look at that. I've done a few over the years, but I would say the majority of interviews you do, it'll be just a first interview, and even if it is, you have to do a second interview. That would be advised on the job description, or at the beginning of the interview, when before you start the interview. The interviewer will let you know, okay, hey, just letting you know that this is an initial interview, and if you're successful, you'll be going through to another interview. And if they do advise that, they'll also let you know what the process will be if you progress to another interview. Okay, family? So that is us for the evening. A very big thank you for your time and your support as always. Please, if you have any questions, drop me a line. You can PM me on any of my socials. Next week, we will be looking at a follow up for our job hunting series. Now, for those watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe and hit notification for more great content. And for all your MC hosting needs, please feel free to contact me on any of my social media channels. You can PM me, or feel free to visit my website, briansangala.co.nz. That's us. God bless. Tō whāsoi fua, and look after